Ghosts? Well, Doctor, looks like we've got enough of mystery on our hands. Yeah, why do I get the feeling that this is what Scooby-Doo meets Doctor Who's like? Is it going to be the fairground owner? I feel like it is. Now, there are two types of Toby Whithouse stories. There are the awesome ones, like School Reunion and Vampires of Venice, and the meh ones, like God Complex and Town Called Mercy. This, Under the Lake, definitely falls into the awesome pile. Because it's just so great. Like, I found with the underwater stories, like the adventure game Shadows of Vashta Nerada and this, even though Shadows of Vashta Nerada is a game, and they're completely different, one's interactive, one isn't, they're still very good at world building, and the atmosphere is just brilliant. But, then again, sometimes an underwater base could be quite limited, because you could be drawn to the, oh no, it's flooding and we need to escape, sort of thing. But luckily they didn't go with that one. Thank God, because that is just too cliched, like, seriously. It's too cliched to do, and that just doesn't work. But this story, Ghosts, Stephen Moffat said they were just plain out, simple ghosts. Does dead people turned into transmitters count as ghosts? Because they said they were just... He said it was just plain ghosts and no alien. But there is an alien behind it. And if you don't want any spoilers for Before the Flood, don't watch the BBC One trailer, because that, for some reason, reveals what's in the suspended animation chamber. And what's causing the ghosts. Why? Anyway, to the cast. Pick Poldy. Brilliant. Like, he is amazing in this episode. He gets to stretch his comedy muscles with the classic cue cards. And the way he says that, like, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'll do all I can to solve the death of your friend / family member / pet. He says that so seriously, like he's actually delivering a speech or something. And then when he finishes, he just looks completely confused, like, why didn't that work? Also, I can think of two more people who can do with those cards. Sheldon from Big Bang Theory and Sherlock. Hope you do that, Stephen Moffat. That would be hilarious. Clara, played by Jenna Coleman, she does okay in this episode. I mean, she's got more to do and she actually has a reason to be there. Unlike last week's episode. But she just seems completely different from The Witch's Familiar and Magician's Apprentice. I don't know why, she just seems like normal Clara. Last week she seemed like, oh, I'm the boss. Colin McFarlane, who plays Moran. Is he wasted? I'm not sure, because he gets to say some lines, he gets a scene, and then he just turns into a ghost and says the same thing over and over again. He does good for when he's not saying the same thing over and over again. And he's very good at acting like a ghost. In fact, all of them are. Cass, played by Sophie Stone. The deaf person. Now, I'm glad that Toby Whithouse didn't think that because she's deaf, he could have just easily made her the victim. I'm glad that she actually had a part to play in this episode. Like, she was in charge and she could actually figure out what the ghosts were saying. Because she'd probably get very good at lip reading. And Sophie Stone, the actress who plays her, is actually deaf, so good work, BBC. Lun, played by Zaki Ismail. Not sure if I got that right. He's basically Cass's signer, and he does okay, because especially when he's trying to explain who's in charge. He says me first, and he says her. It's just hilarious. All these people on the base has something to do, apart from Pritchard, but I'll get to him later. O'Donnell, played by Morven Christie. No idea if I got that right. She's good as well, cause especially since she just fangirls over the Doctor, like, oh my god, you're him, oh my god, I'm such a big fan. But it's not obnoxious, she actually has something to do, and when the Doctor praises her, she's like, he said I did a good job. Bennett, played by Ashur Ali. I'm probably butchering all these names, I'm sorry. He does a good job, because he's sort of like the one that's like, they can't be real. And he's sort of like the one in denial. But he does good as well. And he's sort of like, when they're trying to figure out if to stay or not, he's sort of like, no, you're gonna get yourselves killed. But they're ghosts. And they're all, which makes them human, because, let's face it, if you were in this situation, would probably say we'd stay because they're ghosts. And Pritchard, played by Stephen Robinson. He's the rich idiot, basically. Like Rixton Slade in The Voyage of the Damned, except he learnt a lesson. And there was actually a line that said, Mr. Copper said that you shouldn't have that power to choose who lives and who dies. And I didn't really want him to die, because he learned something in this episode, even though he sort of did say to the Doctor, Max Capricorn Cruise Liners is doomed, I'm rich. But you could sort of tell that he's not the same person who started. He actually changed in a way. Pritchard, as I said, the Doctor said it perfectly, he's the idiot. I didn't actually want him to die. Like, I've seen many annoying characters. Fenton from Flatline last year. He was annoying, but I didn't want him to die. This guy, on the other hand, why didn't you just have him walking around going, this stuff is valuable, we can't leave, this stuff is valuable, I need my money. Jeeves, get me my check. Because the only reason why he dies is because he's an idiot. That's all I can say to him, he's an idiot. I'm surprised the ghost didn't get tired of him. And half his dialogue is idiotic, like, I imagine these power cells are valuable. I mean powerful, definitely powerful. Why? I shouldn't want a character to die. Finally we have Prentice, played by Paul Kay. He's the Mowgli one. Like, the same species of David Walliams' character Tibbis from The God Complex. And I like how the Doctor explained this. He wouldn't say boo to a goose, more like give the goose their car keys and bank details. So it'll be interesting how he got turned into a ghost and why he's so violent, because, as he said, they're famously cowardly. Toby Whithouse, yeah, definitely, you done a good job. Definitely up there with your school reunion. And first time director with Daniel O'Hara. This is definitely a well-directed episode, because it's so easy to just use the same style in this, because you're running about corridors and that. But it's just great. Like last week was just, sci-fi Daleks, because most of the directing with Daleks is pretty much similar. But this, brilliant. And just so, as I said, it's very atmospheric, because the lighting, very well lit, and it's a clever idea to put it on night and day mode. So, like, there is a period where you're safe, they don't have to just running back to the Faraday cage to be safe. And the ghost design are really good, like, you can tell they've just used the classic make the actor see-through kind of technique. But the way they've removed their eyes is... I don't think I've seen a ghost that has done that. I think that's a unique design. And plus, they're all... you can tell which one's which, because obviously Prentice is the one in the top hat, Moran is the one in the vest, and Pritchard is the one in the swimsuit. Thankfully, he doesn't talk. And when they're capturing the ghost, that is a brilliant scene, because it's well directed and it's done in stages. And I like it how you didn't see the planning, because that would have just, you knew what coming. This was clever, like and sometimes when they're panicking, they say stupid lines like "Oi, over here," and the way that Pritchard goes after Lunn and then almost kills him but doesn't, that was really well directed. Clara again does well, especially that clever hologram. The Sonic sunglasses. I'm not going to have a 5-minute rant this time, although I might. They're put to good use this episode because they're used as a camera. I can see that, like, I'd be okay with them if they were a camera, because a sonic screwdriver as a camera just wouldn't work. But this one, no, it just still can't get on. I just still can't accept it. Stephen Moffat said he committed heresy by doing this. Yes, you're completely right, but I just can't, no. Anyway, back to the story. As I said, great that Cass figured out what they were saying, and the way the episode was paced, because it could have been quite easily to go, oh, the doctor's arrived, oh, they found ghosts, oh, they need to capture them, oh, they meet the crew, ghosts everywhere. They could have done that, but luckily they didn't. It really cleverly paced. Like, you find the ghost, and then most of the episode, unlike the Magician's Apprentice, which is just throwing everything at you, like the Davros remembers, oh, it's Davros, oh, the Daleks, oh, it's Skaro. They're dead. This is cleverly placed, like a first part should be. But the cliffhanger, I'll get to it later, but I don't think it's the best that they have. It's definitely better than last time's, but it's not sure it's that great. Well, not that great as in, I think they overhyped it, definitely. But the titles. This is just getting embarrassing now, BBC. Like, they're stupidly out of sync. Like, that humming noise should come when the clockwork unwinds. How can you not get this in sync? It's impossible. And like, the high note should come when the names appear. How are you getting this wrong, BBC? Like, how? Even poor guy who made them, he must be fit. How have you just started doing this? Like, is there too much going on? Do you just need to go back to the simple vortex routine? Just the TARDIS in the vortex, is that what you need? Is this just getting too hard for you? Anyway, the special effects, very limited, mainly for the ghosts I can see, so that's good. And most of it's gone practical, like with the water and the fireball. That, I could have said, the way that Prentice just appeared and then, bam, there's a fireball. That was a bit in your face, because it was just like, here's the fireball. And then the episode just kickstarted our flares, like he just slammed the accelerator pedal and forgot to take his foot off. But that aside, the way the Doctor addresses Clara and like he has a duty of care, I think he actually meant that. Like, he's just asked Doc because he was like, I've run out of things to say. And finally, we get to see the inside of the TARDIS, and they've got new round things. Still, I didn't no idea what the round things are. They should really address that. And good use of the cloister bell, like the TARDIS doesn't want to stay here because it's a time and space machine. It goes on science, and ghosts is clearly not science. Like this was done in Sarah Jane Adventures with the Eternity Trap. She travelled the Doctor and said, like, ghosts can't exist. And it wasn't ghosts. It was a machine that went wrong. Same with Torchwood, the transdimensional transducer, I think it was. I may have got that wrong, I haven't watched that episode in a while. That wasn't really ghosts, that was just you seeing echoes of the past. They sort of fell back on the classic It's Aliens, and I feel like that's where this is going with the whole transmitter thing, because I've seen the BBC One trailer and I know what's in the case, and I'm not going to spoil it for you because that would just be wrong. The trailers are there to do it for you, but I'm not sure if these, as I said, I'm not sure if it counts as ghosts, because they're more of transmitters, and it makes sense, like the ghost sent out to call the rescue team to come down and strengthen the signal. That made sense. And as I said, Peter Capaldi, even though he's probably talking to just a bunch of, in that scene with the Faraday cage, he's talking to 3 actors just saying the same thing over and over again. He does well, and the way he describes etching something in your head, like 2 weeks of Mysterious Girl by Peter Andre, he was praying for death. I found that quite ironic because I knew Peter Andre was on Strictly just before this. I found that kind of funny. I can just imagine the Doctor in the audience having a nervous twitch every time he hears the word Peter Andre. Anyway, to the cliffhanger. I don't think the cliffhanger is like, the Doctor's dead. Oh dear. It's more of, the Doctor's dead. How did he get into this problem? It's the question. Like last week with the Magician, 2 weeks ago with the Magician's Apprentice, you knew he wasn't going to kill him. It was like, he's just going to chicken out. Even though he didn't, he shot the landmines. This one, you're invested in this, and I genuinely want to see what happens. Because if next week's episode is any good with this one, we've sort of got 2 of them. Like, we've got the town before it's flooded, and the sea base. And Clara may be a chance to reprise her Doctor role from Flatline, because she has to take care of Cass and Lon, and the Doctor has O'Donnell and Bennett. And it'll be pretty interesting, because they're probably gonna one of them is probably gonna die. I feel like it's not just gonna be the Doctor with 4 ghosts. I feel like somebody else is gonna die, but that may just be me. But overall, I give this episode a 10 out of 10, because this is just perfection. This is what an episode of Doctor Who should be. I love it. And I feel like this is going to be like Mummy on the Orient Express and Flatline. I will never get tired of repeat viewings of this. And I hope that Before the Lake? I'm getting this too mixed up. Before the Flood doesn't mess it up. So, see you next time for Before the Flood. And let's see how the Doctor gets out of this one. See you next time.